We want judges with a temperament to be a judge. We want a judge that exercise good judgment. We want a judge that just talking about the rule of law, but would be able to be flexible and deal with equity and fairness in that rule of law. Let me just say this. As an African American, as a black man in this country, in this county, I'm scared to death to go to any courtroom. I'm scared for my son, my 25-year-old son, to go to courtroom. I'm scared for your son and your daughter to go to courtroom. It's a thing going on in the hood saying, you go to court, you don't know how you're going to come out. You go there as a black person thinking they're going to, when it's all over, they're going to push you over to the corner with somebody doing your fingerprints. This is serious. Now we vote for all these president and all this kind of stuff, but mayor and judges, they have a local impact. These judges got a lot of power. They got a hunk of power. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. They got a lot of power. And I'm saying to you now, with all that power, we want to know how you're going to be equity, fair. We know, don't hide behind what you can and cannot say. That's what some of these judicial candidates like to do. I'm just being emotionally honest. I learned that from Dr. Carl Warren. Emotionally honest. Am I right, Connie?
Yes.
So let's go to Sister Connie for the question. Let me introduce the judges first. Let's start with.
My name's Jack Gutman. I'm a candidate for Hillsborough County Court Judge Group 8. I've lived in this community. It'll be 46 years in August. I'm practicing 32 years. I've raised my family here, my children here. I care about this community. My practice has been broad and diverse in many civil and criminal areas. I was an assistant state attorney. I was a special public defender for several years. I've rose to leadership positions in every organization I've been with. I have the highest rating you can have through Martindale-Hubbell, through his peer review ratings for both ethical standards and legal ability. I've been endorsed by 5 retired circuit court judges, many of whom are very respected in this community. They could have endorsed anybody and they chose to endorse me.
Time. All right, on that note, I got to take a commercial break for a minute. I want one of these good old lawyers to explain the difference between somebody out here that's a lawyer, the difference between a circuit court judge and a county court judge. Get that out of the way real quick.
Yeah, I'll do it. So good morning, my name is Fentress Driscoll. I'm a candidate for State House, and we'll get to me later, but I'm also an attorney. So the difference is the amount of money that is at issue in court. So the county court judges hear controversies up to $15,000. If you're a circuit court judge, you hear controversies that are in excess of $15,000. So it has to deal with how much money's in play. You probably heard of small claims court, right? That's something that a county court judge would hear because it's less than $5,000, less than $15,000. They have to handle that, and then circuit court judges handle more.
Which one handle criminal cases?
They can actually both handle criminal cases. It just depends on what the type of charges are.
Very good. All right. Board of Education.
Right.
That's what we're doing. Board of Education. Y'all got that? All right. Let's go now to let's go to Greg.
Thanks for having me again. My name is Greg Green. A little bit about me personally. I'm married to my wife, Shantanice. She's out there with our 2 kids. I have talked about my 4 pillars of my campaign, and that's experience. I have more experience than anyone in the group that I'm running in. Perspective, I've done multiple areas of law. I've done criminal prosecution, I've done criminal defense, and now for the last 11 years I've done a lot of family law. Trust, I've been endorsed by 3 retired judges, over 100 lawyers, 6 former bar presidents. I'm unanimously endorsed by the AFL-CIO, and I'm unanimously endorsed by Hillsborough County Fire Rescue. And then the main thing that I talk about is community service. Your judges are ultimate public servants. They need to be out in the community. I'm a big brother in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I've been coaching at Robinson High School for 8 years in the girls flag football program and for 6 years in the boys program, and I'm a marriage counselor at my church. Thank you.
And take note of this here, because I'm saying it from Tea and Conversation. Dr. Carl Warren been here for Tea and Conversation from day one. We've had a number of judge candidates that come to Tea and Conversation, and once they become judge, they never come back.
All right now, take note of that committee. This is the day of taking note, community. It's a new day among the voters in our community. New day, y'all. On this end now, Judge Smith. Come on up, Judge.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Judge Jared Smith. I'm a county judge in Hillsborough County, and just want to say, can you hear me back there okay? Okay, so just want to say thank you for letting me come here. You know, Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I would like to think that you know, one of my main goals is to hear people. And I want, that's my goal as a judge, and I want you to know the best way you can search and see if I'm the judge you want. You come to my courtroom on Tuesday or Wednesday morning and watch how I handle domestic violence cases. And see if I'm the person that hears people out when they speak. That's been my goal from the bench, and I want you to know my JA is African American, my bailiff is African American, my domestic violence clerk is African American. So we have a team that you know. Yeah, thank you.
Let's go to Addison.
Just make sure, not forgetting Bill on the corner.
No, I got it.
Okay, make sure. Good morning, everybody. My name's Adam Bantner. Again, I'm a candidate for County Court Judge, Group 2. And to what Jarvis was talking about earlier, to trust us as judges, you have to know the man. To know me is to know that I'm the son of a single mother and a father who didn't make it together. My father never graduated from college. He was a mechanic who built his own business in Haines City. I'm the oldest of 4 brothers, so I've pretty much raised my brothers since they was 9 years old. And then because that work ethic was instilled in me, I'm dedicated to my community. I have an unmatched record of service in the community. President of Tampa Tiger Bay Club, member of NAACP, served on the Citizens Advisory Committee Board, coached my son's baseball team out in Fishhawk. I am a part of this community, and that is why I'm running for county court judges, to serve this community. As a former public defender in Orange County, I represent indigent folk and still do. Thank you.
Very good. I'll give you an exercise today. I want you to get all these judicial candidates' cell phone numbers. I want you to get their cell phone numbers and see if they'll answer you.
After the election.
After the election. I want to think twice now about running.
Yes.
Get their cell phone number. Also, I want every candidate in here, I want you to raise your hands to tell me, have you ever been to tea and conversation before the date?
Yes.
Before the date. Candidates, before the date, before they start running. Well, all right, very good. Just a little pointers, that's all. Okay, let's go, Ms. Yeager. Yeager. All right.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Bill Yanger, Group 5, County Court. August of 2016, I lost my daughter, Rose, to a violent homicide in Broward County. That's why I wear the rose on my lapel. I'm not asking for your sympathy about that, but I am giving it to you as the reason I'm standing here right now. When something like that happens in your life, you make a determination that you want to do what you always wanted to do, and that's why I'm here. It also speaks to what Jarvis said earlier. I have 32 years of experience in courtrooms. I've been in front of 1,000 judges, and you must have that kind of experience. But you also must know the human experience. You must know the highs of having birth to a child, and you must be able to sympathize with the lows of having lost a child.
All right. All right. Come on up, Sissy.
Before you start timing me, I got something to say, okay? Before. The card has a cell phone number, it goes to a Google Voice, but I will, if you take your pen and pencil out, paper, I will give you my cell phone number right now. 813-712-9538.
That's it. I got it.
She got it. Okay, so, secondly, I want to let you know on Wednesday night. Don't not time.
Oh, that's your time.
Secondly, I want to let y'all know on Wednesday evening, I put a post on the Black Business Bus Tour Facebook page. A young lady that I was representing who was being kicked out into the system, graduating from college. All she wanted was people to help her get her hair done, get stuff. Wait a minute.
We can't do that.
Okay, wait a minute. The Black business bus tour came through for this school. The family came through, and I want you to know that.
All right, good job.
For a second. You want to do something like that for a second?
Your name?
All right, say who your name is.
All right, my name is Sissy Bosa 7. I was raised in West Tampa. Let me tell you, since 2015, 13, all I do is represent children, women, and men and the elderly who are victims of sexual abuse and domestic violence, and I do it all for free. Because I think
This been hanging around white folk. I thought Sister was a white woman.
I am part black, okay?
All right. All right.
All right.
This is important. Robin Fuson. I'm your criminal law candidate. 25 years as a criminal attorney. 8 as a prosecutor, 18 as a defense attorney. Randy Oliver, stand up. I want to say something. I wish he had time to speak. When Randy got convicted of drugs, he violated his probation 3 or 4 times. I went to court every time and argued with the prosecutor and the judge not to send him to prison. He's been clean 17, 18 years. 20 years. You know what's amazing about that? I wasn't a defense attorney fighting for him. I was the guy who prosecuted him. Oh, wow. And I saw a future for Randy. I talked to his family, and I never gave up on him. And I went into the courts, and I told the prosecutor, don't send him away, don't throw him away. And look the way he is today. You want a judge who's going to look at everybody in front of him as a human being, regardless of sex, race, or color.
Wow.
My name is Star Brookins. I'm a Tampa native, 4th generation. Started off with my great-grandma in Ybor City. She was illiterate. She couldn't read or write. My grandma was first one to graduate from high school. Mom, first one to graduate from college. I'm the 1st generation law student, 1st generation lawyer. I'm running because I'm sick of the inequities in the courtroom. Everyone should be treated the same, irrespective of class, race, socioeconomic status, or what have you. I am ready to get out there and work. I have been working and putting in the work. I'm also the proud daughter of a 22-year-old that I adopted from foster care. Thank you.
All right, going to the panel. Let's go to Mona Judge, our entrepreneur, political activist. It's on you.
All right. So, have any of you guys heard about the report that the Miami Herald put on bias on the bench? I believe that's our biggest problem. So, can you tell me why and what's the cause of the such high rate of blacks going to jail? Or when you have the 2 individuals, 2 defendants, have the same points. By this report, it's awful. The judge giving the black guy
We got it.
3 or 4 times as much.
Got it, Mona.
All day long.
All right. Let's start with Mr. Gator. Right. Let's give him 30 seconds on this because this is a long line. 30 seconds. It didn't quick.
Well, you're going to have to take a leap of faith on everybody up here. Because when they get into the courtroom, they are humans as well as judges. And they need to look at themselves in the mirror and make decisions on issues exactly like yours. I can tell you that I grew up in a family that walked with Delano Stewart, that walked with Warren Hope Dawson, that you were talking about education issues earlier, that worked hard to make sure that every member of this community was represented.
Good. Very good. She did. Come on, Greg.
Sure. I think the crux of your question is how do we know that you can be fair, right? Actually, you just mentioned Warren Dawson. I was having breakfast with him this morning. My wife is
Don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
My wife is African American. I have 2 African American children that are half. I don't see color. I never have seen color when people come to that. So basically what I do is I follow the law, right? That's what judges do. They follow the law. So when somebody comes to you, you do have, in some instances you have leeway, but in some that you don't. So what you have to do is be fair.
My question, if, let me ask you, can we stop him because the judge obviously isn't following the law? I actually did read the Herald that came out, bias on the bench. two defendants have scored the same thing, but they get different sentences. So he is not following the law. He's following his heart. He has compassion for someone who looks like him, and giving the black defendant too much time. He is not following the law. And we all see color. There's nothing wrong with seeing color.
All right. The law allows for that. It's okay. Let's go. We can't go back and forth. Just because of time.
Ms. Judge, you know that right now approximately 40% of the judges in this county were appointed by the governor?
Yes.
They weren't forced to campaign, to go out in the community, to do community outreach, to hear the issues in the African American community. They came from limited backgrounds, limited exposures. They don't connect with the people that are in front of them. I've given 13 years to an organization for the downtrodden, the McDonald Training Center. I stood up for people that nobody else would stand up for, people with Down syndrome.
All right. Adam, it's on you now.
Yes, sir. I have not read the article, to your question. I haven't seen the article. But inequities do happen in sentencing. And the reason is you have score sheets, and that's just the criminal record. That's it. And that's all you go by. But as a defense attorney, I'm board-certified criminal trial law attorney. I represent people in the court system. And it's the job of the defense attorney to present to the court more than their record, to show the court that they're redeemable, that they're an asset to the community, that they're not somebody to be thrown away. And it is only by that, by effective advocacy, that the judge gets the full picture of the individual to be able to sentence them fairly. But if you're just going off score sheets, that's not enough.
All right. Robert, I got 30 seconds. He didn't quit.
Randy Oliver is not the only example of my discretion as a prosecutor to show that people need to be treated justly and equally. I have almost a decade on record of those types of decisions. So, if you have any questions, you ask him. What you're asking a judge to do is look at the individual and not just the score sheet. I know the law of the score sheet, but I also know what people on the street are.
All right. Come on, start.
So, Star Brookins, to answer your question, yes, I have read that article as well as numerous other articles on that topic. That's one of the major reasons why I'm running, because of the inequities. I serve as a hearing officer for Hillsborough County. Everybody that appears before me, most of them pro se, I treat them all the same. I treat them all equally. I've also served as a judge with teen court juvenile delinquency for our children, and I treat them all equally. Please feel free to come and watch me and see how I treat them equally.
I'm Cissy Moses. I've been running for Circuit Court Judge for 25. No, I have not read the article, but, and I understand what you're saying, two different judges will rule two different ways, but it also depends on who the defendant is. Because I guarantee you what, somebody with a lot of money is going to get off easier than somebody with no money.
All right.
And they should treat them like they should treat them equally. Yes.
Judge, Jerry.
Yeah, to correct your question, I have not seen that particular article, but I have seen a lot of articles that are like that. Obviously, it concerns me. You know, one of my guiding posts in my being a judge is God shows no favoritism. You know, my faith really guides me on that, and I try very hard not to see color. And as I said, you know, my JA is I hired her because she was the best. All right, it didn't matter what color her skin was, and that's how I like to treat people when they come into my courtroom. To treat them fair. Like I said, I'm Jared Smith, courtroom 303. Come see me anytime. Watch me on Tuesdays and Wednesday mornings. So love to see you.
Let me just mention this, baby doll. Whenever somebody say they don't see color, because I see color, I see the black people in here, and I definitely see the white people. So let's always remember that. Let's just say we treat everybody fair.
Yes.
Just like you eat watermelon and collard greens.
You eat them fair, huh? You eat both of them fair.
They all got to go down the same pipe.
How do you eat I don't know about
Get it acquitted, then stand up, then we're going to move to the school board race.
Good.
5% of the world population, globally, Americans, 25% of the prison population. When you put on that robe, you're putting on an ugly stain. And you're all responsible for whoever ascend to it. In fact, I have protested and said that every judge downtown is a criminal. And I feel that way, and that's why Mark Ober is no longer there. Moving forward, tell me quickly how you see criminal justice reform happening.
All right. Let's
Criminal justice reform.
Let's start with Jared, work our way back.
With your power.
So, all right, so to be fully true, you know, we're judges. We're supposed to follow the law. We can't make
That ain't gonna get no votes in here.
Right. So,
All right.
but I tell you what, you gotta apply the law fairly. You gotta listen to people. When you come into a courtroom, my favorite example is I had a guy that I granted an injunction against. I saw him in Chick-fil-A and he waved hello to me and said hi, and that meant something to me that he had felt treated fairly, even though I ruled against him. And that's the most I can give you there is fairness and a fair hearing every time you come to court.
That's it.
I mean, everybody has to be treated fair. There's nothing. I know you have to follow the guidelines that's presented before you, but every judge has discretion. There's certain situations that come up. The judge has discretion to either limit the crime or raise the crime. That judge has discretion. You have to look at the circumstances of every situation. It's very important.
They're not answering your question. It's about reform, not your current behavior. We want to know what reform looks like to you. Or your personal experience.
You want my personal experience? It would scare you.
What does reform look like to you, not the behaviors? How are you going to train the judges? This is not answering the question.
Well, let me say this now. A lot of, but not defending the judge, but in their position talking about how they don't have no power to reform. So maybe we ask the question differently because they're judicial candidates.
Well, in my mind, what I'm thinking in terms of they can go up, they can go down.
Okay, that's it.
They can go up, they can go down. They have that kind of power.
Y'all got the power to go up and down on the sentence. Y'all got this leeway from the sentence.
Well, that's where discretion comes.
Okay, that's good. So everybody else got a chance to answer that. Star, you understand? Go on with it.
So reform to me looks like getting more people in office and in the judiciary that reflects the community, and who's actually gonna. It's one thing to talk, but it's another thing to live that experience and to actually see it played out and to understand how it's affected within the community. So reform to me means getting more people who reflect the community and making that change that that judges can make while they're in office, and ensuring that these people come before me, different races, same thing.
Robin.
Changing the system starts with the change in the laws. How many people of those, what percentage of that 25% of black folks, men and women in prison, if you talk to them, all originated because an officer smelled the odor of marijuana.
There you go.
There you go.
Legalize marijuana, you're going to stop creating criminals where you don't need to.
I'm going to just put this out there right now before I go to him. I need some panel to talk about this police misconduct and how judges, a lot of times judges go along with the police. Let's be real in here. Let's stop playing with this. So I got one panel member left. I need some of that on that. Let's go.
Here's what reform looks like, and we're not allowed to advocate for any particular changes in laws or anything like that. That's just not our role. We're not allowed to do that. But what reform looks like, especially from the county court level, because we do have more discretion than the circuit judges do, it comes from engagement. It comes from involvement. It comes from knowing the community. You can't have your pulse on the community and be fair to the community if you don't know the community. And I put my cell phone number out there on radio programs. I'll give it to you again today. But nobody's called me. Nobody's taken that opportunity. So I invite y'all to call me because I can't affect change if I don't know what needs to be changed. But I can promise you that I will stay engaged as a judge to keep knowing the issues in the community. That's where reform starts.
All right. Everybody, if you got a pen, let's get Adam Bantner. He said he gave some phone numbers. Give him the number.
Yeah, I gave it on radio show. Yeah. It's on my card. No, that's my office number, but my cell number is 81.
Nobody calling no office. We need that cell.
The cell is 813-416-7965. Call me anytime. If I don't answer right away, I always call back.
Actually, one of the things that I think needs to happen is we need to change the way lawyers are sent to the bench. This governor in the last 8 years has done a horrible job with diversity, with the appointment of African Americans, of women. These judges, not all of them, but many of them do not connect with the African American community. They don't know about the school to prison pipeline. And unless you're campaigning like I have for over a year and have listened to it, you have no idea, so how can you expect anything else?
And on that right there, thank you for that one, government. We've asked a number of times to the candidates do, have they ever heard of school to prison pipeline? And probably one out of all of them have ever heard of it, because we hear it all day long.
Yeah, common.
And that's amazing. Jack said like he nobody. You do, Jack got me. Go ahead, Greg.
So I think reform comes with, well, by the way, my cell phone is on my card. So if you see this card, cell phone's on there, but I'll give it to you at the end too. I think reform comes from treating each and every individual that comes before you with fairness, looking at their case in a unique, fair manner and not conveyor belt justice. I think sometimes what we have is our courts are overcrowded. Everybody knows that. Our judges are overworked. And sometimes they're going too quick and they're just looking at things that they really need to spend more time looking at. So the reform truly comes from treating each and every individual that comes before you with fairness and looking at the facts of their case. And again, my cell phone's on here.
Come on, Bill.
Cell phone, 813-601-9500.
I got it. You're calling you later.
All right. My answer goes back to what I said and the reason I'm standing here today. Everyone up here has experience in a courtroom, but you must have experience with the human condition. You must have experience with how people live their lives. You must have experience with the joys and the sorrows to be able to empathize with those people when they walk into your courtroom and understand that they live a life that you don't know about, but you must empathize with.
Temperament, good judgment, equity, and fairness. Not going to court to be a prison dealer. Going out there to make a plea bargain. That's all it is, a prison dealer. I'm going to give you 37 years, I'm going to give you 22. If you get lucky, you may get 8. Wow. That's what's going on. That's the real deal. All right.